it be fingerprints or facial recognition, that will enable us to use technology to better deny fraudulent entry into America. It strengthens the requirements that all commercial passenger ships and airplanes entering the United States provide a list of passengers and crew before arrival so that border authorities can act immediately to prevent someone from entering the country if he or she poses a threat to our citizens. It makes a lot of sense to do that. We should have probably been doing it a long time ago. These new measures will only be effective if federal authorities have access to important information. One of the things we've learned is how to better share information. Right now, the FBI and the CIA do a good job of sharing information. Information is getting better shared from the federal to the state to the local levels. But we've got to do a better job of sharing information and expanding information to the INS and the State Department and customs agents and throughout the intelligence community. We've just got to do a better job. This bill enables us to modernize our communication so that information flows freely and quickly. The legislation requires law enforcement and intelligence communities to continue to develop a list of suspected terrorists and to maintain that list and to make it readily available so that nobody is granted entry into the United States that's on the list. In other words, we're beginning to gather information overseas in a much better way. We've got a vast coalition of nations that are still with us. They heard the message, either you're with us or you're not with us. They're still with us. And we're sharing information. And we can use that, better use that information with our own agencies here at home to make sure that, that we really button us up, that we do our job, the job the American people expect. It'll help us meet the goals of legitimate commerce and important travel. And at the same time, it'll help us keep the country secure. Basically what we're saying is this is part of a legislative part of a national strategy. Tom's worked on the national strategy. He's worked with our respective agency heads, and Congress has been a great partner in this strategy. This is good work. You know, sometimes in Washington we actually are able to put our political parties aside and focus on what's best for the country. They were able to say, let's make sure America is the first priority of all of us. And this has happened in this bill. So it's my honor to welcome both Republicans and Democrats from the legislative branch of government here as I sign this important legislation. Thank you all for coming. God bless.
And perhaps most interesting is every visitor will have to carry a biometric tracking document. Bush explaining it, it could include biometrics, is it your fingerprints, eye scans, but every visitor, he says, will eventually have to carry one of these documents so that they can be tracked. So once again, George Bush has signed the Enhanced Border Security and Visa Entry Reform Act, tightening up the borders and making some stringent new visa requirements, as well as increasing INS investigators, inspectors, and giving some more money for those hard-working Border Patrol officers. Stay with us.